Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Star Maker Bowling Show. I am not Star Maker Bowling. Kenny's running a little bit late tonight, so we thought we would go ahead and get started. We're late, and rather than push the show off too long, I thought I'd go ahead and kick it off and let you guys help dictate the first few minutes of the show. Now, I did not watch Raw yesterday. I had a hockey game that I wanted to see. My Dallas Stars played last night, and Anthony Scaramucci's New York Rangers played yesterday. Rangers could have closed out their series, and they did not, losing to Carolina at home. The Stars now have a 3-1 stranglehold on their series with Colorado, but Colorado's a really good team, and I do not take anything for granted. They were saying last night it was a knockout game, and I say it's not until it's an elimination game, which it will be next, I think it's Wednesday, tomorrow night, at home against Colorado. So Dallas at home. My Mavericks ended up splitting 2-2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City finished as one of the top two teams in the West. I think they beat Denver on the tiebreaker, so they actually had the top record. Dallas was leading that game with 7 minutes to go in the last, 7 points in the last 6 minutes at a lead there. But Oklahoma City came back. They're a really solid team, and I do not relish these next 3 games, 2 of which are going to be in Oklahoma City. Dallas has won there, but they're going to have to do it again. We shall see what happens. Luka taking a beating on the floor the other night. So, thank you, Nicole. I have kind of been back, but I just didn't I missed the Anthony Scaramucci show because I had to work. Popped in a little bit on the the Thursday night show. Kenny gave me the night off, but popped in. And then, of course, there's no Saturday show thanks to the Evansville appearance that Kenny made. And he did a surprise show Sunday night. None of us knew about it ahead of time. By the time I found out about it, it was almost over with. So, yeah, the Pacers not doing so great. It's been a weird playoff so far. Teams that you thought would just dominate have not done so. Well, Oklahoma City just breezed through their first round, but then kind of ran into some problems with Dallas. So hopefully the Mavs will continue to perform at their level best. And my Stars, again, I'm rooting for a Stars versus Rangers Stanley Cup final. Maybe the Mooch will give me a 100-to-1 bet, where I can bet like $10 and he can bet 1,000 or something. Gotta see how that goes. He's got a little more funds than I do. Although, hey, man, I got my AMC stock. AMC and GameStop both have shot up a lot this week. Now, I did not own GameStop until yesterday. I bought 30 shares of stock midday at about $30 a share. And then it skyrocketed up, went up some more today, fell down for a little bit. Now, what I did is I put a sell order in at 45. So when it dropped back down to 45, I got my money back, basically. So I still have 10 shares of GameStop. I sold 2/3 of my shares. I now have 10 shares of free GameStop stock because of some guy tweeting, and that's what made all the difference in the world. Nothing has changed with the stocks other than some guy tweeted. Hello, everyone. This is Kenny Bolin on the Star Maker Bowling Show. Without any audio. Can't hear you, Kenny. Cannot hear a thing you're saying. No audio. So we're going to blame the dogs for that. The dogs are the problem. It's Choco, 2 cow, Scooby, 1 cow. It's actually 1 cow's fault. 1 cow keeps chewing on the cables. Still no audio. Still no audio. Do not hear you. Sorry. There I am. Kenny's dropped out. He's going to probably reboot his computer and I'll come back and everything will be good. So I did not watch any Raw. And actually, it was actually an hour and a half in before I even remembered that it was on. There's just, I don't know what it is about Raw right now. I'm just not engaged with it. I think there's some stories there that could be engaging, but I just not feeling it right now. One, I'm not a big fan of the King of the Ring tournament. It's a dorky excuse to put a crown on someone and let them march around with a crown for half a year. Means nothing. There's no no glory that comes with being King of the Ring. Although, I mean, several guys have gotten a good start to their career. Austin, that's where Austin 316, of course, kicked off. Booker T had a good run as King of the Ring, Macho King. But then, like the last few guys that have done it, Corbin was king. Who cares? Xavier Woods was King of the Ring. Who cares? Zelina Vega won the first Queen of the Ring and didn't do her a whole lot of good. So, you know, it's like anything else. It's like Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank means something if it's booked well, and then you get Otis or The Miz or other guys with briefcase, and it doesn't matter at all. So it all comes down to booking, which explains why I don't watch AEW anymore, because the booking's terrible. John Paul watching his WNBA season opener. I have never watched a single minute of the WNBA, and I expect it will maintain that record probably for the foreseeable future, unless I'm like walking through a airport somewhere and someone grabs me and says, "Look at this WNBA." What? I can't imagine I'd ever do it again. But for those of you who do enjoy the WNBA, I am happy for it.
All right. What do we got now?
We got audio.
All right. You know why we didn't have audio?
Because one cow chewed the cables.
You wouldn't think he'd be able to do that without teeth like me, but he did. No, I was listening to shit over here, some music, and you hear when I have both microphones turned on, you get all the fan noise, not people coming by my window cheering for me or booing me, but box fans. Box fans. There's 4 of them in the window. Yeah. And you were getting all that fan noise in the background. So I turned down all my microphones. So I'm sitting there doing the show going, well, what the fuck? Everything seems volume. To be
it's all turned down.
Yeah. So I looked at it and went, well, all the meters are turned down. So that would be why we're not getting any audio. So you see it shooting to the moon and you decide to just catch that rocket about halfway up, huh?
Well, I tried to catch it as soon as I saw that it was skyrocketing and said, well, you know what?
I saw it very early in the morning. I tried to give one of our viewers some advice because everybody's always giving me advice on when to buy, when to sell.
And I was told you need to sell everything. And
yeah, I was told to sell everything. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know. I've been told a lot of shit the last 3.5 years. I haven't been told that. And dump it into GameStop. And I'm not going to say who. That's, and so I'm looking at it and going, man, maybe I should have listened. And then, it goes way up and then it goes way back down. Where it's about where it was, give or take. Yeah. And then I noticed, now I've been told that when GameStop runs, AMC is going to run. I've been told that 1,000 times. We don't know when it's going to happen. When it happens, when Team Makers will say it. And so, all right. So Team Makers fast enough. I wasn't going to call any names. So I talked with a couple of people, and including the Mooch, and I don't know if I'd do that. I said, well, okay, all right. I said, I've been ignoring it, but I said, I have determined, and I told Mooch and my son and various others, none of us know, and I've told Bob, none of us know shit. We think we know, we think we got a tip, we think this guy's got some insight. None of us have known shit in 3.5 years. So I almost pulled the trigger and took the maker's advice. So then I decided to give some financial advice right back. Maker, you said you're looking to, I'm looking for a win, because he saw AMC go way up because he had heard it was going to drop to $1.50. Well, that didn't happen. Not yet. And who knows? It might happen tomorrow. The way this shit, the way we get fucked with, the way the SEC is, all this fucking shit, it could drop to $1.50 tomorrow. But for a brief second in pre-market, it went up to $13.33 when we were down in the 270s not very long ago, a day or two. 3 days.
Closed at 293 on the 13th.
293. I thought I even saw.
Sorry, it opened at 293. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought I even saw 270s not very long ago. So I checked GameStop because T-Maker's feeling bad. Dumped all my AMC. God damn, man, I really needed this win. Well, then GameStop makes a bounce back, and I'm seeing GameStop, which he got in the teens, I think, when T-Maker got in. And then it's in the 20s.
48.75 today.
No, so. Well, hang on, let me finish. So then it goes to the 20s, and then it's in the 30s, and then it's in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and then it drops right back down to the 20s. And then it goes, I think in aftermarket, it goes back up into the fucking, it peaks at 76. So I write T-Maker very early in the morning, and I don't know if he's seeing my messages or not. I'm going, T-Maker, if I were you're looking for a win, and I know how many shares he's got. I said, if you're looking for a win, because even losing, he had profited a good lick of money, more than I make in a month. So he had already, even losing, he had profited a good look of money, more than I make in a month. So then it goes from the 20s to 76 in the pre-market. Well, the one great thing about the pre-market and aftermarket is that there are no halts. That's where they fuck us, is on those goddamn halts. There's no halts when you drop 10%, 20%. No. There's nothing to protect us. It protects the fucking sellers. So I see this and I'm going, T-Maker, be fucking ready to put. You're looking for a win. You got to fucking win. You bought in the teens and it's now at 76 and change. I don't have enough GameStop to fucking worry about it, but you do. So if I were you, and I try not to give financial advice, but he told me he's looking for a win. At 9:30, you be ready to fucking buy. Goddamn well when we open up, they're going to fuck with us. And they did. Fuck, I should have sold every ounce of AMC I had. If I'd have gone with my heart and my gut, I'd have known that shit was going to get beat down at least by half. And that's about what happened. Not quite half, but it was close enough. Right. And I didn't do it because I haven't done it yet. I didn't sell at 72, 77, other than the accidental sell we made. Thank God, or we wouldn't have made the good money we made then. I mean, that was an accidental buy. So, but T-Maker, I don't think T-Maker pulled the trigger on 76. But if he did have, put that in your web, put that in your fucking Webster's, because that's your new word. If he did have, I like that word. I like that did have. If he did have, then he made some bank. And I had, if me and Chris had sold everything we had at 13 and change, yeah, on paper, it would have looked like we made real good money this morning, but nowhere near what our goals are and nowhere near what we have lost in previous times. But we still keep hearing better days are coming. We still keep hearing there's going to be another run. T-Maker is hearing some things. I'm going to leave that up to him, to who he shares that with, but he's heard some things that could be happening over the next 3 weeks. I hope he's right. My son has heard some things that he passed on to me. I hope he's right. I enjoy the league very much. Is he talking about women's basketball?
Yeah.
Or NBA?
WNBA.
I have never enjoyed a fraction of a second of women's NBA basketball.
That's kind of where I'm at.
But I might watch a fraction of a second of some Caitlin Clark games. They're in preseason right now, right?
Well, there's probably going to be tons of highlights on ESPN.
Well, there'll be lots of highlights. There'll be lots of ESPN, and there will be probably break-ins during the morning news of just Caitlin Clark shit. I'm into 100, and I will evaluate Friday those. Yeah, see, I've never done those. I don't know enough about it to do it. To me, those are called the day traders. Sometimes they get insulted by the long-term investors, but it's two different strategies. I know some day traders that have done very good. I know some day traders that have done good by accident, who have no fucking clue what they're doing. They just got fucking lucky. And I know other day traders that have lost their fucking ass. So I have opted not to participate in that game because I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about the game I'm in. That's why I try to listen to the experts, and they have proven to me over and over and over and over again for 3.5 years, none of us know dick. Because if we did, we'd all be rich. None of us would be here. We'd all have our own island. None of us know dick.
Yeah.
Or maybe the people in the White House and the Congress and the Senate, they got a leg up on us.
They've got a little bit of advanced information.
$1 million in their bank account.
Yeah. So I read today that
I didn't.
I did.
That means I would have had to have read.
Yeah. I read today that last week there was an unusually large amount. Yes, those Anthony Scaramucci books with you could buy for the. Yeah.
We had our first actual purchase from John Paul, the librarian. By
an unusually large amount of put options. Now, put options allow you to sell the stock at a specific price.
Yes.
So, like if I buy a put option for, say,
by the way, folks, we will get into the legendary shit soon. Just bear with us.
Yeah. So, if I say put a put option out there to buy it for $20, the price of the stock goes to 40. Well, now I'm obviously going to execute those options, right? Because I can make twice as much per share. Sometimes those options, and because those options are in like vaults of 100, so if I can't,
it's what he's talking about.
Yeah, if
I didn't even know what he was telling me till you just explained it.
Yeah, so like say I buy 100 options, right? Well, that means I've got to buy 10,000 shares of stock. If I don't have the money to buy 10,000 shares of stock,
that's a lot at any price.
Right. Those
at
options
a buck a share, that's a lot.
But I can sell those options to people who have the money to buy it. They'll pay me whatever. Instead of 40, they might pay me 30, right? Or 30. Whatever. So I'll make a profit on my options, but they make the bigger profit than on the actual share of the stock. Last week, there was an unusually large number of put options on GameStop. And suddenly, this guy who hasn't done anything for 3 years, but was behind
all of a sudden tweeting his ass off. I heard about him. All of a sudden
tweeting, and then whoosh, the price goes up. So, and now that's not illegal. That's not insider trading. That is like, hey, I'm doing this.
Even though it almost feels like it is.
It does, and it feels like it's a little unethical, like a little shady. He's doing something.
He manipulated the price.
He knows the price will go up simply because, or he has a good idea that the price is going to go up because he tweets. Then poof, whoosh, there it goes. And him and his cronies buy a bunch of, not that crony, but him and his
not that crony.
No, him and his buddies.
No one's getting financial advice from that crony. No.
Put options last week, and now suddenly they got a lot of money on those options. So, still, I made a little bit of money.
Explain to me what T-Maker has done. What has he done?
T-Maker, I'm into 100, and I will reevaluate Friday. Those 260,000 option contracts are due. So apparently, he's got options to buy 260,000 shares. What it sounds like it's a lot of shares.
That's a lot of shares.
Is a lot of money, right, to invest. But again, you don't necessarily want to.
That Pepsi money's been good. That Pepsi money's been good in Buckner, apparently.
Yeah, you sell the options to people who don't have the money.
To do that.
I don't have options, he says.
No. Okay.
I guess I don't understand what the 260K options.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I thought that's what he had. I thought that he was doing the option stuff. And if you remember, I'll throw his name out there. This dumb drunken fuck that I kicked off the show a long time ago had the initials MT. We'll leave it at that. And MT claims he hit it big on options years ago, and that was before I had hit the $72 and change on AMC. And he claimed he had made all these tens of thousands of dollars, but still lived like a broke ass bitch and donated next to nothing. So I don't know if he did jack shit. He claimed he went and bought beer for everybody in his life. Who knows?
Coors Light. Yeah.
Spent it all on Coors Light. Yeah, he's not been known for his honesty over the years, and a lot of things he said counteracted what he claimed he did. So who knows? But yeah, we all want people to think we're financial geniuses. Hell, I wanted people to think that when and for a brief period of time I was. I mean, I've told you ahead of time, if Christopher and I had cashed out everything that we had, because I put my life savings in it, because I had turned down good advice I'd been given 2 or 3 times. I could easily be sitting on $20 million had I listened to the shit about Bitcoin years and years ago,
right,
based on the 20 or 30 grand I had in the bank set aside for Christopher's life saving.
I just don't understand the concept behind Bitcoin enough.
I still don't. And I'm friends with Anthony Scaramucci, and I still don't understand it enough. But had I done, because it's been pointed out to me many times over the past several years, had you done what I asked you to do, you'd be sitting on roughly a minimum of $17 million. That would certainly change my daily wake up regimen if that were the case. I don't know enough about it, and then I hear these options things, and I know even less about that. And then if I have to fuck with it every day, I don't even want to be involved. I love my mental health too much to worry about
stress over
every
it,
fucking day. Yeah. As you know, Bob, me, you, Rico, and Chris, there's many days, sometimes weeks, we don't even look at AMC.
Yeah.
And had somebody not buzzed me and said, hey, look what's going on with AMC. And as Teammaker and I had talked about, well, I've been told when GameStop runs, we run. I don't know if he had heard that before or not. I don't think it would have sold his AMC had he known. He would have just got the extra.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
and wrote them both and see what happens. Both of us, as we look in retrospect, probably should have sold at 9:31 in the morning. We would have both made a shitload of money. And a shitload is anybody that if you walked out on your porch and found 10 or 20 grand sitting on the porch, it's a shitload of money. Now, if you look out your porch and 20 grand ain't much money, then it doesn't affect you. It would have affected me.
Yeah.
It would have paid for a lot of car repairs.
I thought seriously hard about buying
legendary financing. We are talking about legendary financing.
I thought seriously about selling.
As soon as y'all ask me anything about the Legend Show, I'll be happy to talk about it. So we will get there. I promise you.
I thought about selling my AMC. I'm at a big loss right now. I mean, it's got to get to $55 a share.
I don't even want to hear what you have to say. Even. I don't even want to hear what you've lost because shut up is all I'm going to tell you.
And not only this, but
I'm sure there's others. I don't know how many shares AMC cheerleaders got in GameStop.
Right. So when you bought, I bet your average cost per share is somewhere around right now with the reverse split about $28, $29.
I believe it or not, Bob, you don't know how close you are. I was pointed out today what my average cost was, and you were right there because I bought in at 202.
Right.
And I still cuss myself every fucking day, but I went against experts' advice. I knew we should have sold. But no, you're going to fuck yourself because you can't buy back in. It's that 2 or 3 day thing. But supposedly you can take a penalty and buy back in if necessary. But I didn't want to lose the big money. And I kept telling, if you sell now, you're settling for chicken feed.
We all got a little greedy
when you could be owning islands and buildings.
Right. Now and this
not me because I'm not going to buy a building or an island. I'm going to have a lot of fucking cash.
and of Filipino women.
And I already own 75,000 of those, but they're not going for much these days. There's not much on the return. They normally drain from your investment.
They cost. They don't.
They're a tremendous. You normally lose 200 on the dollar per month. This is about
pretty close to it. So, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on it, but I visit the AMC stock Reddit every once in a while, not to get advice, but just to kind of
see what the talk is.
Those are the most delusional people in the entire world.
Well, that's what I do. I never really read Reddit. I just, hey, what are you hearing? What are you hearing over on the Reddit? And
there are people on there going.
Occasionally, there's a smart person or two over there. Yeah. But if you've seen AMC cheerleader, whatever you want to say about her, she's either in on it and has made bank, guiding people in the wrong direction, or she is the most positive, delusional person that ever lived.
Yeah, so there's folks there going.
Well, she was looking like a fucking genius yesterday because even though with the 10-1 split, none of us are going to do as good as we were going to do.
Right.
For today, I look like a genius.
If there are folks over going, well, I'm going to hold till it's 1,000 a share. Other guys are going, I'm going to hold till it's 10,000 a share.
I've heard that 1,000 times. I've heard it. Yeah, I'm holding. No, I'm not. No, I'm holding till 10,000 a share. Okay.
Here's the stupid part, right?
Not as crooked as our SEC gov.
If I'm going to sell,
never wait that long.
If I think I'm going to sell stock at $100,000 a share, someone has to be willing to buy that share for $100,000.
Somebody has to.
And if nobody's willing to pay that price, it's not ever going to go that high. And no one's going to go look at it
it's ridiculous.
Now, they also
there is a point that no one's going to buy it. There's a point no one's going to buy it, and 100. And I say 1,000 is somewhat delusional.
I think it's completely delusional. I think if it gets back over 100, it's an absolute sell for me.
Being as we haven't seen it in 3.5 years, I know if I see 100, I'm selling, and then if it goes back down, I'll buy some more, and then we'll see what happens later.
Exactly.
But if I see 100, my ass is sold. Yeah.
I don't think.
Now, I did try to talk myself into taking some savings and buying another 500 shares about 2 or 3 weeks ago when it was down in the 2s.
Right.
And I said, well, I bought in the twos before, maybe buying the twos again. And I've gotten
that's
a couple
the lucky charm, right? You buy in the twos and then it goes
buying
up.
the twos. I said, well, I never saw 202, or that might have been because that was the exact price I bought in that when Chris talked me into it. And then the next, like 3 days later, it went to slightly over 8. And here's the thing. If it had come in at under 8, we make nothing and we just cash out and say, fuck it. But it had to go over 8. And it was one of those options things. And at 4 o'clock, it was 757. I'm sorry, 797. We lose. But because that extra minute before it calculated, it went to like 801 or 802, we win. And we hit it big that day with a $2.02 investment. It went to 8 something just a few days later. And because of that 1 minute, apparently a shitload of people bought it that last fucking minute. And we went, whatever it finished at, it was 8 something. But when we saw 4 o'clock, it said 797 or 798. You lose. You did not win. Here, and Chris said I was about ready to just take the money out and give you money back. And then another minute goes by, another calculation, $8, 1 cent, 2 cent, whatever it was, we win. And all over 1 minute and a readjustment of that final closing price. I know we're boring a few of you to fucking death, but me and Maker and Bob and countless others, cheerleader, made a shitload of money again, and we didn't sell. Not a fucking one of us. So we're hanging in there, and we'll see what happens over this next 3 or 4 weeks that everybody's talking about.
At this point, until it either gets to a point where I break even with what I've invested in it so far, or
I've waited this long.
Something else skyrockets. I sell it, and I need a loss to offset the taxes.
Yeah,
there's no point in selling it, right?
Yeah, that's the evaluation I've made. There's just no fucking point. Yeah, enough
financial talk for the day.
Vanessa, you were trying to call me while I was on the show. Is your house burning down, or what's up? Because as you know, as a rule, I do not take calls unless it's from my son during the show. Or maybe you accidentally called me. Is anything serious going on? And I have been sleeping a lot since I got back from my trip. I've been fucking worn out, and I did my work today, and then there hit a point of the day like I'm going back to sleep. I sent some of you the pictures. They finally come after 7 years and put the sod down at the beginning of my yard, because on both sides of the yard it's just barren for like a 12 by 12 area, and it's just barren dirt. And on rainy days, the dogs go out, they track mud back in the house. Nice. I have to sit out on the porch and wipe their paws off before they come back in the house. So I don't have to do that no more. They put down, I've just opened the door the other day to let the dogs out. There's 2 guys putting sod down in my yard. I said, hey, goddamn, what motivated this? Well, you've been telling us to do it. I said, why are you listening today? And it was a beautiful day. And then after they got done, the next day we
cashed in my GameStop, made some money. I can afford
made some money. Now. Well, I wasn't the one paying them. That was the fucking building's deal. He said that he could build the building up to $250 without permission for improvements. I said, you can't tell me. I said, what's it going to cost you to do that? He said about $80 to $100 for the sod and $50 labor. I said, so $150. I said, I'll kick in an extra $30 if you'll just fucking do it. Well, I told him that 6 weeks ago, and he hadn't done it. So that deal went away. I wanted it done 6 weeks ago. So he finally shows up, and I was all right, great. And I said, no, I'm not giving you any more money because you waited fucking 6 weeks to do it. But bill the guy. I said, you got another $100 to play with. Bill them whatever you fucking want to bill them, and charge them for the sod. They've been waiting 7 fucking years to do it anyway. But it looks amazing out there now if you're a sod guy. I almost wish they'd redo the whole fucking yard.
Man, let's talk a little bit about what we got going on from a Filipino standpoint. Because
yes.
I mean, consider we did the Anthony show, and then I missed.
Eunice is out of money for gas for her motorcycle. I said, well, it'd been nice to have been told that a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's about $18 to fill up her tank. We do have a few other requests. I'm sure Bob might have a bit of a list. Mylene, I used my own money to get her to the province to go see her kids. I don't know if Bob has seen the pictures yet or not, but she's finally been reunited with her kids for the first time in 2.5 years. I fronted her the money because I didn't want her to miss. She had to go May 12th or she don't get to go. She does more or less like maid type work in Manila. She does that to support the family and the kids, except one of them. And Mylene is the one that's got the bowling girl and the bowling kid shirt. The bowling kid lives with her. The daughter, who turns 18, I think, this week, maybe in a couple days. Her name is Micah, Mika, beautiful name. Great little dancer. I've seen some videos. She's very talented, very smart, doing very good. And she's about to graduate in just yeah, there she is. And we also have a picture of the family. If I sent it to you, to where she's there. She's there now.
Yeah, I've gotten nothing uploaded from the last few days, but that's
okay. Well, just as the show goes, did you see that we broke a Saturday night Mother's Day record with me in here all by my lonesome?
I saw that you were here by yourself on Sunday. And,
I begged you and Coltrane to come in, and I saw y'all pop in the green room, flip me to bird, and laugh, and then you left. Is what I saw. Or maybe that was a dream. Maybe that was a dream of what you all did. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be because I don't remember doing any of that. But
no, well, maybe you didn't.
Maybe it
could be me just making. It could be. I could be the Michael Cohen of podcasting, and I'm just making shit up to stay in power.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be. All right. So let me see. I see we've got a table and chair.
Oh, now that's Honey Rose. I want to show that too. I spent a whopping $18 to get her that table and chair because I noticed she was doing her homework on her knees, and I told y'all not to make bad jokes about that. But she was doing her homework on her knees, and so, oh my God, my knees hurt. I said, well, you don't have a table and chair in your home? Oh no, my dear, so expensive. I said, well, and of course, when I hear expensive, well, okay, let me see. So she looks up the price to order a table and chairs, and I think it came to $18 for both, including shipping. I said, if it'll make her life that much fucking easy. I said, honey, order and I can call her honey because her name's Honey fucking Rose. I said, honey,
it's not being sexist.
And I wasn't talking to Christopher Love. Honey, I said, would you go ahead and order the table and chairs? Well, I think the table came in one day, and then a few days later, the chair comes in. So she sent me that video and some pictures last night. And something so simple to make a college kid so happy, man, it just makes you feel good. And she's got her mirror set in front of her, and she was making little girly faces. And apparently, sticking your tongue out is a worldwide thing for young girls these days. I don't know. I used to say that if I ever saw a dating app and the girl's got hideous tattoos or sticks her tongue out, I'm out. All right. Well, apparently you got just wipe out 98% of them if you rule them out for sticking out their tongue. It's like Oscar. I could never date Oscar or Kyrie Sane. Because they both stick their tongue out every match, and Oscar is addicted. Oscar looks like a lizard. I mean, 80% of the match, she's sticking her tongue out. Kyrie Sane is not as bad. Kyrie Sane, I still think the most beautiful creature ever to don a wrestling ring. My son says there's prettier ones. This is just judgmental, which we're not supposed to do these days. But my personal picadillo is that I think Kyrie Sane is the most beautiful female to ever hit a wrestling ring. Those of you that disagree are wrong. So there we go.
Oh, okay.
Covered that. Teamaker, who is the most beautiful girl ever to strike a wrestling ring? In your opinion, if we're allowed to say those things. TC from the NC has donated $10.
Thank you, TC.
I'm getting ready to check, see if we got, I think that's the only one. Because John Paul, the first person to actually pay for his Anthony Scaramucci book. He cannot wait to get that in his library. I think he should buy 7 of them like he did my book and see which one gets rented out the most. The financial advice. Well, I don't know there's financial advice in it, but it's from Wall Street to the White House and back. You'd think there'd be a little financial talk in there.
Something.
You'd think. And yeah, those are the only, we have the payment for the Scaramucci book. That is the first person to pay for his book, even though about 7 of you. Adam Edge Copeland says that's interesting. By the way, your books are in the trunk of my car, and I hope to get those both. I almost sold your book I took the wrong book. I thought I took the personal autograph book that Cornette gave me. So a fan wants to buy it. He's offered me $350 for this book. And he said, Jimmy Signature's in it. I said, well, it's to me. He said, I don't care. He said, I'll give you $350 for it. So I'm like, yeah, there you go. That's a good payday. That's personal property. I'm looking to sell this. I started looking for Jimmy's autograph. I said, oh, fuck. And Adam's already paid for the book. I said, well, I could be a dick and just tell, hey, sorry, Adam, you got outbid. Here's your money back. But I couldn't do that to Adam. So I said, sorry, man. So he ended up buying the personal autograph pictures that me and Jimmy had signed. I only had 3 of them. He didn't pay $350 for them. And he bought my book. So it was still a $80 purchase. I sold those to me and Jimmy for $50 and my book for $30. So it was still an $80 purchase. But so I had to take your book, Adam, and put it back behind the desk under my hoodie, under something else I had there to make sure I was not tempted to sell the book that you'd already paid for. But I have it. It's in the trunk of the car. And as a matter of fact, you're going to be getting the cover of this book for simplicity reasons. I just ordered all this one. And I wish I'd have had them with me because I sold every book I had while I was there. I never dreamed that would happen. But I ordered 20 more of these for appearances I'm going to be doing out in Carrollton in the near future because they sell pretty good out there too. So you'll be getting one of these. And let's show the Scaramucci book while we got it. And I am so proud to have this because you do not have one of these yet. I don't give a fuck who you are. Unless you're personal friends with Anthony Scaramucci, you don't have one yet because it doesn't even get released till, Bob, May 22nd, right?
22nd or 28th, something like that.
I think it's the 22nd, unless there's been an adjustment.
I think it's 22nd.
And there's the Mooch signature right there. He did personalize mine. I wasn't going to bother him to personalize all the others. But that was very nice because I'm sure that takes time to do.
And now I heard
I'm not the only friend he's got, and I'm sure everybody's wanting to fucking personalize.
I heard that he personalized mine, and it said, "Quit interrupting Kenny."
It did say that, and I thought it would hurt your feelings, so I gave that one to a homeless guy out here on the street for $90. He had nine. I said, "Don't buy drugs today, Mr. Homeless Man, and buy the Mooch's book and take some financial advice."
Some guy with a clown uniform and
a guy with a clown mask. Guy with a clown mask, and these are hard copy books. I was not expecting that. I thought he's going to be a cheap little bitch like me and go soft cover. I need to now see what it costs for me to not mass produce because Amazon does them. But I need to see what the hard copy version would cost. I've never done one. I've got 6 different versions of my book out there.
The leatherette bound version or whatever.
Do they make a leatherette bound version? I don't know. I'd get one if they did, and leave it up to the people.
All right. So here's
yeah. Go ahead.
Mylene and her family.
And so there she is. Now Micah is. You know what? Let me find Mylene's account, and then I will give you the names of the kids.
Bigger picture.
The 18-year-old, she does not look 18. Look at her. Look at that face.
Yeah, she looks like she's about 16.
Boy, you're pushing 16 on that one.
Yeah,
but Mylene's in the middle. One of the Backstreet Boys is on the left. That is
bye.
Look at that pretty hair he's got. She does not look like she just turned 18 years old. My God. Pretty good dancer, though, but she made it back to home they had to take, she said the boat ride was a trip from hell. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find, I gotta have to type in her name because I asked her for that, but Micah is the girl on the right. Now, if I can just find Mylene's, well, it brought it up. There we go. Mylene. Okay. My daughter's name is Micah, and the second is Raven Mark, and the youngest is Mark Carlisle. Jake.
Oh, wait a second. Raven Mark. That sounds. What's the kid that Vanessa's helping?
His name is. Remember, it kind of like had the truck stop ring to it. Vanessa, are you in here? His name is RV.
Well, that's why Raven Mark threw me. I thought it was Raven
something Bond, Raylan Bond or something like that.
Yeah, Raven.
Help us out, Vanessa, if you're still watching. RV. Raylan Vaughn or something like that. But Vaughn, but his name is RV. So my daughter's name is Micah. My daughter's name is Micah, Mika. The second, so the young man on the left there with the Backstreet Boy hair is Raven Mark, and the youngest is Mark Carlisle Jake in the middle. And so there you go. And we got
the first kid gets one name, the second kid gets 2 names.
Yeah, the more kids you get,
gets 3 names.
Poor Micah, the oldest, just got the one little name.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
Jellybean's youngest sibling must be named like.
I'm not gonna. Did Coltrane tell us that the train was going to be a no-show?
Yes.
Does he live in New York, where the train? So why is he not showing up again tonight?
He ordered something from Walmart. It came in today, and apparently it's like 728 pieces to assemble this piece of furniture.
Okay, it's a lot of pieces.
It's like IKEA on steroids, but from Walmart, so it's probably not as good.
Oh, so the reason I was late, I thought I set the show up for 9.
Well, Kenny's coughing to death. There's Honey Rose. And there is her. Let me get that comment here.
Good.
There is the table and chair. $18. You'll pay more than $18 for that table at any local Walmart.
My mic.
Kenny is choking to death over here. So there's Honey Rose and $18. That, again, you'll pay more than that for the chair. You'll pay more. But again, these people, they make do with what they have, right? This is a luxury item. People in her neighborhood are going to be jealous of her for having a table and chair to work on. She can actually sit and have a snack instead of eating on the floor. I tell you, every time I see this stuff, these folks, we go, oh, look, she's so pretty. And they are. Jelly Bean's a pretty lady. But she lives in basically squalor. I mean, this isn't anything that any one of us would choose to live in if we had options better than that.
We would not. Those are not good options.
I don't know if we still have Margaritaville. I think we've let that pass along with Margarito. But they live in conditions, and this people are jealous of her.
Oh yeah,
because she has this luxury house.
Yeah, I mean, she takes shit every day. And then when Bob and a few people on the show helped build the extension there, oh my God, a place to put the washing machine protected from the neighbors, and a place to park her motorcycle at night. Oh my God. Oh, you're sending naked pictures to those American men for them to do this for you. Okay, well, good. Show them to me. I'd like to see them. Is what I told her to tell them. Yeah, show them to me. Yeah, if I'm doing that, apparently you've seen them. But I bet they're.
I haven't. But
pretty. Yeah. We don't post those. Well, we do have the one naked picture, but we don't show it that often. We actually show it every show. A wall of protection built there. I don't know if we paid for that wall or not. I hope we did.
We did,
because that wall of protection on the side there. But she just wanted that little terrace to protect her from the smokers, because there's a lot of smokers there, a lot of alcoholics that
they'll come by and stand right in front of her window. Yeah, they actually broke her door. They punched a hole in her door so they sure did try to break in.
To see what they could find. And it wasn't safe for her to leave the place. So now that's a little more difficult.
Like a luxury home over there.
Yeah, this is a luxury home right there with the grass roof. That's the one.
Yeah.
So guys, when I ask you all to help, no, I think we actually upgraded her to a concrete floor. When we kept it from, we have upgraded her to the concrete floor. For those of you that have concrete floors, you're now on her level. Oh, none of you do. Okay, just checking. Unless you live in your mother's basement, and we have people watching right now. And we have people watch, or the garage. Yeah, and we have.
We do have people living in the father's basement who watch.
We know that for a fact. Yes, we do. Vanessa, you never told me what you wanted. You've gone rather silent.
Yeah.
And I'm checking to see if any more donations have come in.
I did upload a few pictures.
I guess nobody gives a fuck about what happened in Evansville, and I'm not going to talk about it unless somebody brings it up.
I've got a few pictures ready to show if you when we get around to that.
If somebody cares to see them, I mean,
but
oh my God, Bob, we ain't going to be here much longer anyway. We've had the one person pay for the book, which was a prearranged thing, and we got $10. We have been here how long? 43 minutes. And we
45 minutes. Right. So
we're going to be wrapping up in 5 minutes if somebody doesn't donate something, and we'll save this show for $10 fucking dollars. And all right.
Look, and I when I started up
62 people watching, and we got $10.
I said, you tell me what you want to talk about. And we opened the show to subscribers tonight. This is not a members only chat.
No, they're subscribers that watch the show.
We left it open for Facebook. It's still open for Twitter.
It is.
You guys, if you want this to be an interactive show, you want to interact.
And I've been kind enough to do that the past 2 or 3 shows.
You don't like what we're talking about? Bring up another subject. Say, hey,
all you got to do is suggest a topic, talk about the Legend show.
you know,
I got
we
tons of stories.
at one point had tossed around the idea of doing single topic shows. We're going to talk about football
Yeah.
tonight, or we're going to talk about this
Movies,
event, this wrestling event, or we're
the
going to talk about this,
Evansville event.
and we got away from it. We started doing, you know, for a while we did a little bit of an agenda, and I would put together 10 or 11 stories, and we touch
I
on
remember
them.
those.
And you guys just didn't want to participate. And I mean, you apparently love.
Well, I wasn't trying to shame I wasn't trying to shame the regulars into donating, because as we know, Nicole donates almost every show. She's donated 20.
She's a sweetheart.
So at least it ain't a total disaster. We've made 30 now, because the Scaramucci book was already prearranged through John Paul. There's a few of you out there said you wanted that book. About 7 of you said to put you down for a copy. Well, there it is.
Got them. Here you go.
Yeah, they're here. My son took my personalized copy with him, and Kevin Marr has donated 10. So minus the book, that's 40. So yeah, I'd love. Yeah, so now at least we've made Eunice some gas money for her motorcycle. She uses that for transportation for her and Shaw to get back and forth to school. Shaw's in visiting, celebrating her birthday, and I've already covered their birthday party. I did that with my money. I normally do not support birthday parties anymore for people 13 and up. But it's Shaw's 18th birthday. That's kind of a special thing. Eunice is going to be 18 in November. We'll do something for her in November. 18th birthdays are pretty cool, pretty special. And Shaw's family spent their money because they asked Shaw what she wanted for her birthday. Shaw shanked. I hope we have a picture of her and Eunice together. That kid is melding. Oh, that kid is melding into Eunice. They look so much alike now. They look like they have the same mom, and I assure you they do not. But they said, "What do you want for your birthday?" She said, "I want to go back and visit my friend Eunice," because she was living in Manila, and it's a long and expensive ride to go from Manila to Calbiog City. So the parents paid for her to go back, but they said, "We don't have any money for any extras for you. This is your birthday present." So they let her go back to Manila to visit Eunice and stay for a couple of weeks. And Eunice wrote me and says, "Daddy Shaw turns 18 tomorrow. Is there anything that we could do for her birthday?" And I said, "Well, how much is a cake and ice cream and all that?" And I think it was about $30 to get cake and ice cream. And it ain't cake and ice cream just for her and Shaw. All the kids there. Yeah, all the kids get cake and ice cream. I said, "Well, yeah, we can do that." So I've already paid for the cake and the ice cream and a few other things you all don't even know about. As Bob has said, Jelly Bean is his project. Well, Eunice is kind of mine. And if it's more than I can afford, then I ask you guys for help. So I've already sent a goodly sum of money over that direction to a few people. Honey Rose is more or less my project. She doesn't ask for much, but she wanted to change the looks of her bedroom. She was inspired by my bedroom and my living room. Oh, my God, I would love that. And the shit she wanted, even though mine, yeah, there it is. She didn't do that, but she did make some changes to her bedroom, and it looks much nicer. And but yeah, and I feel so much better about my bedroom, getting rid of that dirty white carpet and that would not come clean. Look how much Kyle loves his bed. And Choco, they don't know. They sleep on those other beds from time to time, but when I say it's time to go night, that's where they go. Normally, both at the top of the bed, Choco on the left side, Scooby on the right. And when I come, okay, move, make room for Daddy. And then they get up and they move. They make room for Daddy. But Choco stays on that far right-hand side. But many times she warms up. I'm sorry, the far left-hand side. But many times when I go to bed at night, she's already asleep on my pillows because she thinks she's keeping my pillows warm for me. And Scooby's normally laying up there. They get tired before I do. They go to bed before me. So do we have any pictures of what we may or may not, and if we don't worry about it. Do we have any pictures of what we've done with the Honey Rose's bedroom? The last thing she wants, and I told her we'll do it next month. I'll do it out of my money. She wants wallpaper. I think she wants a black wallpaper for her bedroom. Apparently she's a fan of sin. So, and I told her, and it was under $30. I said, give me till next month and I'll send you the money to wallpaper, because it's good to feel good about where you live. And did we get the video of her showing us how happy she was with her table and chairs? Did we have that?
I did get that, although it was such a short little It looked like
well, one of them is
I
like
didn't get
20
the long one.
seconds or 14
No,
seconds.
I just got like one
You didn't get
3
that one?
second.
Maybe we'll show that on the Thursday show then. I'm not
Yeah.
going to put them through that.
So there we go. There's that table. There's the lovely Honey Rose.
Yeah, that's Honey Rose.
Here, I'm going to give you guys a preview of some of the things that happen in Evansville.
Let me smarten Hans up because it's probably a decent question. Hans never, because you have to send pesos to the Filipinos, and if it's not going to a Filipino, because GCash is only in the Philippines.
Right.
If you're sending money by PayPal to the Philippines, well, it goes in pesos. And plus, they have to have a real PayPal account, or they're not going to get the money. It's not like you can set up a fake account and have money sent to you. So, so the number would be 0.
We've had some folks who
say they wanted money for one thing and spend it on another. But even that you can count on one hand over.
Yeah, very few people have actually tried to really just scam us. Now, there have been some people that we've cut off for a variety of reasons. Some of them because they were
relying on us
jealous
for every single thing, or jealousy. We've lost a few due to jealousy.
They didn't want us to help other people. They wanted us to help just them.
Just them.
Sorry, it's not how it works around here.
That's not how it works. That's it.
Well,
I see you like them, but well, can you help me? No, I can't because we did this. Well, I saw you did this for so and so. Oh, I guess they're your favorite. Okay, well, yeah, they just moved up above you. Because when you're jealous of other people getting help, I got no time for you. Filipino, American, I don't give a shit. When you're jealous of other people getting help, and the tea maker, one thing I strongly admire about him is that he always writes me and say, "Hey, Kenny, who's on the bottom of the list? Who's not getting any help?" Or because he sees who the favorites are. We have our favorites, of course.
We do, but we also try to help the folks that are. Like food comes first.
They're trying to help themselves as well. Those that are trying to help themselves.
Vanessa busts her ass to try to
hardest working woman in show business.
And so if she needs something, when she comes to us and says, I need some help, I know it's because she's exhausted every other method.
Yeah, it's not because she's sitting on her
trying
ass.
to find it herself. Now, there have been a couple that I have had some questions about whether they're
Hans, if you would like to make a donation, you're welcome, or even get a membership if you enjoy the show. I guess you do. You're here. If you, that's not the most Southern Alabama name I've ever seen. So I'm going to say he's probably not even of this country. If I had
we've had some hard conversations with a few folks on how
Hans Mole Man. We may have been trolled. Hans the Mole Man.
The Mole Man.
Oh, well.
We may have been mold.
Hans, are you from the Philippines? Do you need money?
Or do you think we're being catfished? That's the other.
We could be are we getting catfished? Yeah. From 8,400 miles away. Get catfished all the time. I went over there. She wasn't there. Turned out to be her grandma.
I tell you what, I have gotten so many.
Wasted all that money.
I wish I would get the texts that were scamming me for money instead of the political texts that I'm getting. Okay.
I tell you what, Mooch did a great show with us the other day. That was such a fun show. We opened up talking about baseball. He was the one that brought up the sponsors. He's now looking forward to going to Two Rivers after hearing me rave about Two Rivers. Popeye's Fried Chicken was thrilled to see they were the first one mentioned by Scaramucci. Bear Nose Pizza.
Went to Popeye's on Saturday.
Did you go to Popeye's on Saturday?
I got the golden barbecue chicken sandwich.
Oh, you didn't get that 12-piece deal for $25?
They were like going, what are you speaking of?
Yeah, Well, it's supposed to be a national deal.
Yeah,
I've been getting emails about that. It's supposed to be a national deal. I know Markel said he'd be glad when it's gone because the 16-piece deal is like $52 with tax.
Right. They got to be losing money on the
12-piece deal. 25. So what do you think people are buying?
Yeah, so I got the golden chicken.
I'll take two 12-piece deals for the same price I'm paying for the 16 is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I got the golden barbecue chicken
with
and
twice
I got
the size.
The strawberry biscuit. First strawberry biscuit I've ever had.
Oh, you hadn't had one? Give me your honest review of the strawberry biscuit.
I waited too long to eat it.
You either got to wrap it in a here's my advice. If you get the strawberry biscuit and you bring it home, you wrap it in a paper towel, put it in the microwave for 10 measly seconds, and it really freshens it up real good. But you got to wrap it in a paper towel. Just can't set it in the microwave. The paper towel somehow provides moisture to the biscuit. I do that with any biscuits I ever microwave, wrap them up in a paper towel or a napkin.
I think I waited too long. I had the sandwich and then I put the biscuit aside.
Yeah.
And got to it.
Oh,
like
if they hand you that biscuit there at
later.
the shop, oh my God, those motherfuckers are good. And apparently there's several new types of chicken coming out with all the various sauces and everything. And we're going to Popeyes this weekend. I was due to go this weekend, but obviously I was at the Rockabar Pizza down in Evansville, Indiana. I just ate the last of my Rockabar today. Chris ate the last of his Rockabar today. Dundee took pizza home. Rex Luthor took pizza. By the way, Rex Luthor, that is his real name. He says, Kenny, just tell him that we got the room set up. Tell him to switch it out of Rex Luthor to you. He said, I got 2 rooms in my name. I said, well, he said, all you got to do is show your ID. You don't got to give him a credit card or anything. I said, well, that's good. And I said, well, what did you show him? He said, I show him my ID. And I've known Rex Luthor for many years. He's sent a lot of stuff to this show to help us out. And I said, well, what's your ID say? He said, it says Rex Luthor. I said, I thought fucking Rex Luthor was your working name. He said, no, that's my real birth name. And also Rex Luthor performed as the Masked Owl. I've got autographed pictures of the Masked Owl over here where he's with Dundee and he's with Lawler. So I said, well, I thought the Masked Owl might have been your birth certificate name. You was born as a child. Your mother thought you was ugly. Put a mask on you and named you the Masked Owl. I said, I would have believed the Masked Owl was your birth name before I would have believed Rex Luthor. So the thrill of a lifetime I got to have is when Lex Luger came by my table and we showed him the picture that Bob had sent me of back in the day, and that cracked him up. And I got to say, Lex Luger, Rex Luthor, Rex Luthor, Lex Luger. And that was just so much fun to get to do that. So
there you go.
There we go.
So
and now I don't know. Now Lex Luger is not his real name, is it? I wouldn't think.
No, Larry Fowl is his real name.
Well, no wonder he went by Lex Luger. So one of those guys was introduced by his real name, and it wasn't Lex Luger. And I bet you we could have polled all night long, and there ain't 2 people in here that gave us Lex's name without looking at it.
I'm going to show one picture from the show.
All right. Let me check and see if we got any more donations.
Now,
Kevin Morrison for $10.
Every person, this is what blows me away. After you sent me a zillion pictures, and I said,
I do send a lot of pictures.
You did, and it's okay because it's all from the show here. And I said, Kenny, where's the picture of you and Jerry together?
Listen to this shit before you show anything. Here I am in the lobby 2 days in a row with Jerry Lawler, Jimmy Hart, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Dundee, of course, Rex Luthor, Downtown Bruno. Had breakfast with Bruno. He and I and Chris had a private breakfast at Denny's because we were the only wrestlers personalities that showed up. Then I go to the show. Bruno's table's next to mine. So we had 4 hours to sit there and bullshit with each other because we didn't interact night 1 because Bruno was speaking. Fucking legend in Memphis and was on a shitload of shows. I was not. Plus, you don't want a shitload of Republicans at a table asking a Democrat to come up and talk. So that was probably strict orders. Do not let Bolin talk. Whatever you do. I don't know that that's the case, but we got along very good. The minute I walked into the lobby, Lawler was in the hotel before I was, and he was sitting there with his back to me. And I walked up and put my hand on his shoulder. He said, "Oh my God!" He said, "You showed up." I said, "Well, why fucking wouldn't? I'm 2 hours away. You're in Memphis. You had a lot further to go than I did." And there's Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart has not aged a day since 1976. And the last time I saw Jimmy Hart in person that we had any type of a conversation was 76. And I didn't realize that. So Jimmy tells some Sputnik Monroe stories. Maya loves Sputnik Monroe. Maya had a black grandma. And Jimmy Hart tells a great story that I'm going to tell with Shane Russell Thursday night about what Sputnik Monroe did in Memphis. A story I had not heard. And Jimmy Hart was with him when he did it. Amazing story. And but Jimmy Hart is 80. And you would swear to God if you sit down and talk to him. You're how old are you, Mr. Hart? 50? How much? No, sir. I'm in my 80s. Is mentally together as anybody. Handsome Jimmy's still doing very good mentally, just as sharp as ever. He went up and spoke at the thing, and he stands back, and everybody's wondering what he's doing because he stands back from the microphone. And they said, "What's he doing?" I said, "He's getting ready to go into Handsome Jimmy mode." I said, "He's quiet as a mouse." And Shane Russell, in telling the stories about Jimmy Valiant, Shane says, for 22 and a half hours a day, he is the quietest man I've ever known. And my son looks at me, he says, that's the stories you've told. He would ride with you to Rupp Arena, and you'd have to ask him to repeat himself because you couldn't hear him. I said, however many hours a day you're with him, and then the cameras come on, and then that's the guy. I said, he's the greatest active performer in wrestling because you guys don't know who Jimmy Valiant is. We know him, and he's quiet as a mouse. So he said, and I told everybody what he was doing. I said, no, he's going in Handsome Jimmy mode. And woo, musty baby. And then he goes into Handsome Jimmy. And it's
for those of you that don't know, Shane Russell is Lance Russell's son.
Do we have a meme
joining us on Thursday? We have the meme. I don't think I have it uploaded, but I'll get it here.
Yeah, we made 3 of them, and he picked his own meme, but all 3 were very good. But he picked the meme he wanted, and so that's what I have put out on my stories. And then I will create that show Thursday morning.
Now it's whining about it. Okay, so let me show the one picture I was going to show. This is Kenny Bolin with the most patience in America.
And
now, I got to say this. This guy did not buy Kenny's book because he hadn't quite learned how to read yet.
He hadn't quite learned how to read yet. He did buy some. He bought about $30 worth of stuff. And I told him that it was not necessary. He says, no, I want to. He says, I've heard so many bad things about you, and you actually seem to be a pretty good guy. And he says, a lot of these legends are coming over here to meet you. And I said, that's kind of blowing me away too. But many of the, including Matt Hardy, came by. And then, of course, I got to meet the star of Justified, who was friends with Matt Hardy. We're up to 70 live. Guys, we got 70 of you in here. Will you Facebookers and you Twitter people help us feed these families with a $5 or $10 donation? We've only made $40 tonight. Or if you'd like to purchase one of the Scaramucci books, I can sell probably as many as 10 of them. We have 7 of you that said you wanted it. 1 of you's paid for it. But we've got a few of the Scaramucci books. If you want to get one, it's $65. That's the book and shipping. 60 for the book, 5 to ship it. Because even if you buy one off Amazon, it's $30 unsigned. I'd like to think that the former White House communications director's autograph is worth $30, and he's 60 years old and looking amazing. Him and Jimmy Hart sitting next to each other, that would be 140 years worth of man. Throw me in there, now you got 205 years worth of man. It's a lot of man and a lot of dark hair. Exactly. One of us probably naturally dark. The others might be. There it is.
The meme for Thursday night. It's Shane Russell.
So
Lance will not be with us unless Shane brings a Ouija board. He might
be watching the show tonight. He told me he was planning on checking in. And so Shane, if you're out there watching the show down there in the Central Time Zone, down in Pensacola, Florida, make sure to say hey. And looks a lot like his dad. And he actually was apparently at the event that I did in Jackson, Tennessee 7 years ago, but I didn't. He said, I remember you meeting with my father. I said, like an idiot, I did not get a picture. But back in the day, it was not cool to ask other people in the business to get a picture with them. Some people have done it. Some you all have seen that, but I was taught you don't do that. Don't be a mark. We have had to warn other people that we take on shows with us. Don't be a fucking mark. Act like you've been there. Somebody wanted to go to the Evansville show with us. We didn't take him because we know he would have been a mark drooling all over himself and would have embarrassed us. So we didn't take him because we knew he couldn't behave himself.
I know he's bad Chris, but he's not that bad.
He's not that bad. Oh God, can you imagine bad Chris down there? So, so my dumb ass, I'm sitting at the table with handsome Jimmy Valiant. I've never been photographed with him. I've been in the ring with him. I got video stills. Never even been on video or I've never worked with Jimmy Hart. And there he is sitting there from me, the sweetest man in the world. Oh man, I love you, baby. Oh, you were always so good to me, Kenny. Oh, thank you for making those audio. I love you, man. And then Chris goes down and sees him in the lobby. Chris is walking the dogs. Jimmy Hart's sitting there, and Chris said, hey, Mr. Hart, how you doing? Hey, Chris, how you doing? How you doing, baby? How you doing? So you got called baby. He told me he loved me. I said, well, that's pretty good. And and then we realized I did not get any pictures with Hart, Lawler, and Lawler's in his after night 2. Lawler's in his Monday Night Raw outfit, and he walks in the lobby in his Monday Night Raw outfit with the cheap crown and the jacket. And he walks in, he sees me. He says, "Are those your dogs?" I said, "Yeah." "Why are they here?" I said, "Well, we didn't have a dog sitter." "Those are big dogs." I said, "Yeah." "How many you got?" I said, 3. "My God, they're all yours?" I said, "Yeah." He said, where are they staying? I said, in bed with me. All three. He said, those are queen size beds. I said, uh-huh. I said, they normally sleep in a king size bed. We have room. It's a little snug up there tonight. Oh my God, those are great looking dogs. So Lawler got to meet Scooby. He didn't get to meet one cow. One cow did not make the trip. So Lawler got to meet the dogs. Hart got to meet the dogs. Jimmy Valiant got to meet the dogs. And there we are. We're just standing there. Everybody's got a fucking phone. And why? I'm kicking my, because that's probably the last time I'm going to see these guys, if I'm being honest. And I didn't get but I did get pictures with the star of Justified, Raylan Givens' boss, Nick Searcy, who knew who I was. Why? Because we followed each other on Twitter. And we had been for years, but I hadn't communicated with him in a long time because I knew Nick, we'll say, leaned to the right. So politically, we did not line up. So I will tell that story on the Shane Russell show. I was going to, because we ain't made much tonight. We made $40.
40
bucks. Yeah, we've made $40. So nobody wants to order their Scaramucci book? Are y'all that fucking non-political and don't want to have an autographed book?
Well, I don't think this is a political book per much. It's
just his stories to the White House from Wall Street to the White House.
If you read the what's the subtitle to that book?
And no one's saying shit.
The Scaramucci way of.
I doubt I've read the subtitle yet. From Wall Street to the White House and back, the Scaramucci Guide to Unbreakable Resilience. I wonder if in this book anywhere he says, "Thank you, Kenny Boland." I wonder if there's anywhere in there.
It's probably on the last page, the one that they come.
Probably on the. I need to skim to the last page and see if it's in there. But there it is. You don't have
the acknowledgments.
This book is not available yet. You can't get it yet. Talks about salt on the back. He is a big deal with salt. Big deal, obviously, with Skybridge. Oh, I saved something that I'll keep forever. I cut it off the package. Yeah, it's got a return address on it because I need to mail him his book. I kept saying it didn't have a return address, but it does, but it's very, very little. I cut off because my son says, Dad, Skybridge has sent you a pack. I said, really? I said, that book ain't out till the 2030s. He said, well, you got them now. He said, this is a box of books. And he's sending me one more small batch to fill in the gaps of people that said they wanted one. John Paul's the only person to pay for his yet, but there we go. And Skybridge from Anthony Scaramucci. The return address is there. I need to mail him his book, and he will not get his as fast as I got mine, but I'm sure he knows that. And I truly, I wrote him and told him I feel so privileged, and he actually wrote back within minutes on a couple of my messages. Oh, and I negotiated a deal. So those of you that really want to have an interesting show, and there's a chance I might be a part of it. Anthony Scaramucci has agreed to be on the Keeping It 100 show. How about that shit?
Yeah, I mean, he was on with Jake Tapper yesterday. He was on.
Yes, he sure was, because you told me, and I wrote him. I said, hey, Bob just wrote me and told me that you're on. So, of course, I record everything. So I backed it up and found it because it was one continuous show. Nice little segment. I sent him a screenshot from the show, and he said, thank you, and shout out to you for letting me know he was on.
Yeah, I just had it on in the background, and I heard a voice. I'm like, wait a second.
I think I know that voice. Yeah, I think I know that voice. So, has everybody got lockjaw? Did everybody super glue their fucking lips or their fingers to their keyboards?
They did.
1009 was the last comment from Hans the Mole Man. He didn't donate either, by the way.
All right.
Thank you,
we'll
Hans.
We'll be back on Thursday.
Thanks for netting.
Calling it right now. We'll be back on Thursday with Shane Russell, son of Lance Russell. I've actually met Shane before. He did the podcast.
I didn't meet him till this current show.
He did.
You said you was going to show a picture or two from Memphis. Let's give it 6 more minutes and just see if there's some mercy money.
All right, okay.
Let's see if there's any mercy money.
We need to do some trimming because we're at our 100 picture limit from.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, so that's why I've only got a few up here, but we'll go. Here is Bill Dundee.
That is Mr. Osborne. He was the one that put on the show
of the show.
Yeah, Mr. Osborne. I think Jason Osborne, if I remember correctly, and that's Bill Superstar Dundee with him.
So let me ask this: I've heard that during the Lawler roast on Friday,
yes,
someone,
and probably what you heard is right,
who is the biggest prick in the world.
Yes. was not invited and was not invited on top of that.
Yeah, made some comments that were, well, let's just say less than tasteful.
Way less than. Let's put it this way. When the comments were made, I'm sitting behind and off to the right of Jerry Lawler and off to the right of the Hardy Boys. Both of them were there. Nick Searcy from Justified. I do want to show that picture. I'm kind of proud of that one. And when I heard the comment, me and Chris looked at each other. And then I looked over at Rex Luthor and Bill Dundee. Bill was at the table. Rex was not. I looked at Rex and I told him when we heard this person was going to be there, I said, if there's any issues and something needs to be done, a lot of these people might be too chicken shit to get involved. I said, you're standing with two people that are not of that ilk. I said, and I said, give me the look if it's needed. And a certain person close to me says, I will shut the shit down in a heartbeat. And when those comments were made, I made that look. We thought shit was going to hit the fan. But I want you to know on day 2, the ignorance persisted. And then the word got it. And then the word got out as to what was going to. Oh, they set him. Bill had to be moved from my table because they set him up across from me to the right.
Oh my God.
And I was hot about it, and I bitched about it. And of all other people to bitch about this, Missy Hyatt.
I was gonna say Missy raised a real stink about it on Twitter.
Missy missed night 1 because she said she didn't know she was supposed to be there, even though she had advertised on her Instagram page she was going to be there. Man. I was in the lobby when the phone call was made to Missy Hyatt, and I heard her saying, "I ain't gonna fucking be there. I'm just getting out of bed." It's 5 in the afternoon, and no, I didn't know I was even supposed to be there. So I figured she's wherever the fuck she lives. But it turns out she was in Evansville. She just thought she was checking in Friday and doing shows Saturday. So she was there Saturday all day and seemed to do reasonably well. I didn't go over and speak to her because the last time I was on a show with her, she got kicked out. So I just figured I would just alleviate myself of that situation. Her and Sonny got kicked out of a show I was in Cincinnati by the WWE for bad behavior. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So, but Missy apparently made a post, and I went on there and shared her view, and said, "Hey, if anything's needed, we're here and we got this shit." And but yeah, we were given that look once, like you're on standby, and so it didn't. So then this person comes to my table. Well, hello there, Mr. Boland, and he talks with that real, extremely rough, raspy voice. And he's got some of his kids there, and his ex-wife is there with Dutch Mantell's cousin. They're hanging out together. So I think the word had been put out that if this behavior continues, there's somebody here who's going to beat your ass, and none of us are going to stop him. So I think the word got put out. And then he came over to my table. Hello, Mr. Boland. Well, as you all have known, I've been very vocal about how he's treated his father. And among other things,
this is Jamie Dundee, by the way. So
I think people may have figured it out, but
for those of you that had, this is Jamie Dundee.
So he comes over and he introduces himself and he calls me Mr. Boland. I said, "Yeah, Jamie, we've worked together." I said, and I told some stories about IWA and shit they wanted me to do. I said, "Y'all don't know what I get paid over here, do you?" I said, "I'm not going to be doing that." So we told some stories, had some laughs. He's being respectful, calling me Mr. Boland and everything, which wasn't necessary. We've worked together. And I worked with Wolfie at OVW for many, many, many shows. Jamie was not welcome there. Jamie never worked one show with us there. And I was at a comedy club once with Tim Wilson that Jamie got thrown out of for being a drunk, disturbed, little fuck up on the show. So, but he's being nice. He's being respectful. And he wants to introduce his kid to me. And there was this cute little girl, looks like she might be 15, 16 years old. I said, "Well, goddamn," I said, "that's an awful pretty girl." I said, "Her mother must be a drop dead knockout to be your daughter." And I'm making all these backhanded remarks. And Chris is sitting there like, "Yep, if shit has to happen, just let me know." So Chris is watching me get all these backhanded remarks in on Jamie to see if it's going to lead to anything. Because I'm taking every backhanded, and he's sitting there going along with it. "Yeah, I'm a fuck up. Yeah, goddamn, these kids turned out pretty good even because of me." And he's acknowledging he's a fuck up. And I said, and he said, "Yeah, her mother is gorgeous, man." He said, "You want to meet her mom?" He said, "Her mom's over there." And then Dutch's cousin, God, I'm blanking out on her first name like an idiot. I got a picture with her, and she goes over and brings her over to him. I said, "Well, look at you. I said, you are? I said, you are a gorgeous young lady. Now I see why this little kid's so pretty. And turned out Dutch's cousin was in Jamie's wedding with this young lady. And so Jamie introduces me to his kid and calls her by the wrong name. And she looks at him and slaps him and runs away. I said, Jamie, how do you not know the goddamn name of your kid? He says, goddamn King, I got fucking 8 kids. I said, well, I only got 1. I said, if I had 8, it might get a little difficult. I said, okay. I said, so you forgot the name of your kid. I said, where does she live? She lives with me. I said, so she lives with you and you forgot her name. So I was told that Jamie may have been on something, even though he said that he was sober and had been on the wagon for quite some time. There was not evidence of that. He might not have been on alcohol, but something wasn't adding up. So the behavior was good enough that no ass whipping was necessary. And but whatever he was on, Chris was concerned, he's probably got the strength of 10 men. I'm going to have to bring my A game, but I'm not going to let him disrespect Bill like that. So, but Bill did not want him there. And they said Bill can't even hug him anymore because he's scared he'd get his pocket picked. So I wish Jamie would get better. And like I said, he showed me nothing but respect. Never said a bad word, even though I've talked shit on him, but I meant what I said. You know, don't be, you know, it's your fucking father. Yeah. You know, and even Bill has said, hey man, I could have been a better dad, but fuck, most people in the wrestling business probably could have been better dads. That was one reason I never even considered going on the road. I wanted to be with my son. And I think at this late stage of the game, he understands that. So you guys aren't hearing anything to make y'all want to donate $5 or $10 or even fucking comment, with 72 of you in here. Okay, so 3 more minutes, Bob. And if no one's going to donate anything, we'll save it for Thursday and we'll see how that goes. I am blown away. I really am.
You got some really good stories tonight and some at least decent financial analysis. We don't give advice here. We do analysis when we talk about stuff, and we're only basing it off our own experiences. We're not experts in any shape of the word. But some good stories, and come on, guys. It's not like these folks don't need some help. You know, I mean,
okay, see what it costs to get your denture fixed.
Well, there we go.
One of Eunice's teeth fell out, needs or get a tooth put back into her denture. All right. Rosanna Dan. Well, it just goes to show you it's always something. Yeah. So, no one's speaking because they're terrified we're going to ask them to make a donation. I mean, we've gone 30 minutes and nobody said a word other than Hans. And if you go back to Hans, nobody said a word since John Paul. And if you go back before John Paul, it was Vanessa at 9:42, and then she never said another word. And then T-Mac, this is the quietest goddamn bunch I've ever seen. Dad, my graduation is coming near, and I don't want to be on stage with no teeth. Should have thought about that before you let your tooth fall out.
Wear a mask.
Hello, King. Do you mind if we get an extra 3? This is from Vanessa. Hello, King. Do you mind if we get an extra 300 pesos? I just added to our tomorrow's transportation expenses. Going back home, we actually hired a tricycle here from the town proper. I still don't know what a town proper is. And tomorrow,
the town itself, as opposed to like the outskirts.
Okay, and he wants to charge us 500 pesos because we have 2 big bags and a fan that we bought at the rental house. Just got home, King. Finally, we're home. I just paid my May bill from the remaining money that Bob had sent me. And then I borrowed the 300 pesos from a neighbor here because I'm already short for our transportation allowance. We were charged 500 pesos by the tricycle driver. Here's the total breakdown of expenses of my money that Bob sent me. She gave a expense rundown of how she spent her money. I don't know if you got this, Bob, but I have it. I'll send it to you in a little bit.
I wish someone else would keep an expense.
Yeah,
all the money they spent, even though I've asked her to like 3 times.
King, would you mind to help me buy a new cable type C for my laptop? For some reason, I charged my laptop last night, and then there's power interruption. After 30 minutes of the power turned on, and when I charged it back after 5 minutes, I smell, and then something was burnt. So I checked the charger and a lot of other words. Let's see. So she needs help to buy that. So I inquired to the store where I bought the laptop 2 years ago. They have available, but it will cost me 880 pesos plus 300 pesos transportation, plus the 500 pesos transportation that it cost me to get home, which I had to borrow 300 of that. This is my conversation with the store. I can send you that later. I'm supposed to have interview with another company tomorrow night.
She needs about 1,800 pesos, which is about $36.
Is that what it sounds like? So, have any of you mimes out there that have been watching this great show with 70 people? Would any of you like to help out $5 or $10 before we go? Any of you? I think we already know the answer to that question. So, all right. Well, and I think Michigan Mike is still in Vegas. But then I need to find out what it's going to cost to fix Eunice's tooth before her graduation. Jazzy Jana's watching the show. How you doing, Jazzy Jana? And there's Jelly Bean. I don't think Jelly Bean has seen the show yet. She might be busy with baby Jara. All right. So now I think we can call a merciful end to what we've done tonight because, oh well.
We will be back on Thursday. Shane Russell.
Thursday night, Shane Russell. And I hope they don't embarrass me as bad with Shane Russell. So thank you. Thanks to those of you that did donate.
You guys are fans of Lance. Please help us out a little bit with some donations, but bring your questions because Shane.
Yeah, unlike what you did tonight, nobody asked jack shit to speak of. Because no one said jack shit since 942. I don't know. All right. Y'all make me wonder why I bother sometimes. For those of you that don't donate, to have 102 people in here Saturday night, and I think three or four of you donated. So wasn't that nice of you? Think we owe them something, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Well, until Thursday night, 9:05 p.m. I'm the Star Maker. That's Bob Hazelwood. Coltrane. He's putting something together.
He's still putting it together
Thursday.
Undoing all the box parts.
There goes my camera.
Just moved on its own.
I guess I'm going to have to break out the duct tape, fix it or fuck it.
The ghost
the camera said, Penny, go. No one's donating. No one's commenting.
We're out. Goodbye. In stream.